The Treasury Department unveiling its new plan to help up to 9 million Americans stay in their homes today, including millions who are now what's called underwater, which means that they owe more in their mortgage than their house would be worth if they sold it. Here on the live desk, we want to help you too. We've asked questions. We asked you to send them in. We're going to try to get some very smart people to answer some of those questions, and I'm sure your questions are the same as many other people's out there likely. So let's bring in our financial panel today with some answers. There's Gary Kaltbaum. He's a Fox News business contributor and the host of the syndicated radio show Investor's Edge. Michael Rosenwald is a Washington Post financial reporter, and Dagan McDowell, of course, is a Fox Business Network anchor. Welcome, everybody. Good to have you all here. Let's jump right in. Molly Lyons is behind me. She has some questions that you've been sending in. Molly, what's the first one you have there?
We have on our live desk blog, what events would have to transpire for the recession to deepen into a depression? What should I do now to protect myself, family, and friends?
Yeah, that's a great question. Gary, let me go to you first on that. A lot of folks wondering how much worse it's going to get, and are we going to find ourselves in a true depression, and what would be the signal that we were in one?
Well, I think a lot of people think the word depression, they go back to 1929. I don't think that happens, but I do think if we ever do get run on the banks, then you got to start worrying, because then it's going to be out front and center. And if you think people are worried now, they will get doubly worried, as it's going to feed on itself. But as far as protecting yourself, you know, I've been saying all along the best place is cash, and the best thing to do is study your head off about what you're going to want to do in the future if you've been affected by your job or things like that. You don't put your head in your sand now. You get better and better at what you do, so when the time comes, you get to be what I call a go-to guy in your industry, and life will turn out much better than before.
You said something interesting in your notes. You said you believe that there's a war on the market right now. What do you mean by that, Gary?
Well, look, I'm talking a little politically here. I do not like the proposals we are getting out of the new administration. I call it a war on profits. In the last couple of weeks, we've had a health care proposal, and the health care stocks crashed. We had this cap-and-trade proposals, the utility stocks crashed, and of course, you can see the market down 25% since. It just seems to me taking money out of people that are working and giving it to people that are not working is not going to change what we are seeing at this point in time, and it worries me a lot.
You know, but to Gary's point, but what makes me nervous is people talking about using the word depression.
Right.
And because, again, if you shake confidence to the point that it becomes self-fulfilling, that people change their behavior so much, which you've already seen with people pulling in and saving. I just wanted to point out to people, from peak to trough in the Great Depression, this economy contracted 50% nominally. We are nowhere near that. You look at the fourth quarter divided up by quarters, the economy contracted less than 1.6%.
Yeah,
so some needed perspective
that's pretty encouraging. All right, let's get the next question. Molly, give it to us.
We have a tweet on Twitter from Dave. I don't retire for another 35 years, but should I stop contributing to my Roth IRAs as they go down?
A youngster, 35 years. He's going to keep working. Dagan, tell me, and then we'll go to Michael.
Well, one, the Roth, you know, make sure. Don't get hung up when you're talking about IRAs and retirement accounts with the account that you're putting your money into. There's a difference. You can still save and stock money away. It doesn't necessarily have to go into the stock market. But even at this point, with so much time to retirement,
where do you think you should put it?
Well, again, mix it up. Well, no, just keep it going into your Roth. Again, that money grows tax-free. If you're really shaken up, you can put it in a CD. Again, it grows tax-free, so you don't have to pay taxes on it down the road. Incredible place to sock your money if you qualify. But again, at 35 years, I don't think that you should stay away from stocks altogether. And that's according to the experts who I talked to.
Molly, let's give us another one for Michael.
Joshua says, ask the panel what business or industries are going to come out stronger because of this economic situation.
All right, Michael, what do you think about that from your reporting? What industries, given you know, the stimulus package and the areas that the president is focused on right now, where do you think might be a good place for people to focus their energies if they're looking for a new business, new work?
Well, if they're looking for new business or new work, I mean, what we've seen so far in this economy, the areas that are still, you know, where job growth is happening is in healthcare and education and in government work. And so if you break those three things down, you know, you've got healthcare, and Obama is obviously interested in radically shifting how the healthcare system works. There's going to be growth there, obviously. There's going to be growth in education, given a lot of people going back to school and whatnot. And then the third thing, finally, there's going to be a ton of growth in government, particularly because the government is taking over so much responsibility for so many of these big industries. So those are the three areas that if I were looking for a job, or if I was going to school, or if I was out of work and looking for a new career, I'd be looking in those general areas.
Government is definitely hiring, it sounds like, from everything we've seen. Thank you very much. I know you had a lot more questions. We're going to continue to try to do this and get to more of your questions, because I know everywhere I go, and I have my own questions, we're all wondering what to do.
You can call in too.
What a good idea.
Saturday, 4 hours. You can call in. Sorry, I had to get that in there.
Great. No, thank you. I'm glad you did, Fox Business Network. If you don't get it, right?
Demand it.
Demand it. Thank you, Dagan. Thank you, Michael. And thanks to Gary as well. Trace?
I had a question. I had my hand up over here the whole segment.
Sorry.
No,
What was your question?
No, well, we'll get to it next. We're out of time. They're saying
he's going to call in on the weekend.
I will. You better.
I'm
A uniformed cop driving a patrol car.